All right, so as we're debriefing and just kind of digesting all of that session, yeah, with the conversations around the room, we're giving you the opportunity actually right now to put that conversation, those points that you may have on paper. Before I explain that, we we have some surveys going around. We're asking you to take the time out to fill them out. Data, 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 data. That's what we have been stressing on all day long. We want to hear from you. We want to take the information that you give to us so we can put certain things in place so we can have an even better time next time around. But at this time, there are some easels around the room. How many of them do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. About 8. So is it that each table will get one? Yeah? Okay, good. So each table in the room will receive an easel. And we're asking the persons seated around the tables to talk to us. This is where we want to hear from you. So we're going to have the questions are there on the screens. And we're asking you to collaborate to answer these questions as a table. And then we want to hear from each table what you've come up with from answering these questions. We want to see where the differences are and where the similarities are as well, so we can have good discussions.
I do believe that it's still afternoon, right? Good afternoon, everybody. So the question posed for number 1, read it out aloud, everybody. The question again, please. Can you put back the question on the screen, please? First of all, my name is Sasha. I am the entertainment manager at Sandals in the Grill.
Woo! We love sandals.
So based on what was said from everyone on the conversations had, I can relate by answering some of the question. We are not totally impacted every day by events, but of course we do events even though we're private. So based on what was gathered, we came up with these answers. So the first question was,
what are the top 3 major challenges facing you as a festival event coordinator or manager?
okay, so firstly, we look at training and certification. If you don't have the proper training, we do believe that you're going to be oblivious to what you're going to actually execute, and automatically, we believe that you will fail. So with proper knowledge, proper training, you will definitely be able to be more marketable and be able to execute your event better.
Hey, all right.
Also, we look at event locations and proper facilities. A lot of time we go to events and we do not have the right facilities to pretty much attract certain customers, certain vendors. So location is definitely a factor to consider. Normally I don't get nervous, but I feel nervous.
You're doing good.
And getting the designated location that we would prefer to host our events. Also, lack of technical expertise, and I have nothing to say about that today. Okay, so lack of technical expertise, that is definitely a factor. So the second question, what policy program would you want to implement to support economy in Jamaica? And that is our public and employees liability insurance. Now, everybody who does events, you can relate to this. Not everybody have a 1 million insurance. So that is something that we can look into from a broader spectrum from the tourist board or whichever private or public sector that want to definitely invest. So that is something that we can look at. So the third question, what action can you take as a group of festival organizers to support the festival economy? First thing first, we can work better together. So once we start working together and supporting each other, then greater strength will come from this. So it's better synergy, better team building, and of course, it goes back also to collective promotion and marketing. So if I have a brand and I have something doing, then definitely, it will definitely be enhanced if you are on my team, even though you have your own individual promotions, and if we work collectively together, then we garner greater mass appeal. Not true? Yeah? All right. Why am I nervous? And of course, we want to look at building out a one-year plan. Once you know what is going to happen throughout the year, then of course, more festive. Like for example, I know that a colleague of mine is having a festival in February, then I can plan for March. So if collectively, everybody who's a part of that board can say, these are the events that we're looking for 2019, and we all collectively put together a calendar to show these events, then proper planning, proper organizing, and of course, we will not definitely compete with each other. So that is something that we can look at, yeah? Okay. Also, if we all collectively look at doing postmortems together, your event flop, I may be more knowledgeable. I may be more knowledgeable about events, and I'm booming and I'm doing great. We can collectively do postmortems together and then say, maybe you need better strategic planning, proper marketing, and how you partner and how do you get your sponsors. So a postmortem collectively can definitely be looked at, and I'm normally not nervous.
You did good though. A round of applause, please, for Team Corner Table. I don't have a name for you guys. Team Sandals. Is it all Sandals over there though? Everybody over there from Sandals? Free weekend. Yay. Sandals South Coast Overwater Bungalow. Hey. All right, so we have Team Middle Table here.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Marsha Grant. I actually work for the Heart Trust entity that pays the bills. However, I represent the Culinary Federation of Jamaica, and we host the largest professional culinary festival in Jamaica and the Caribbean each year. It's a competition, primarily it's a competition. There are additives to it, but it is primarily a competition. So our table said the three things that we thought were impacting each of us was sponsorship, mentorship, guidance, policies, procedures. Mentorship in terms of guidance, policies, and procedures. Professionalism, notice I said three things. I'm just adding the fourth one. And networking. In terms of mentorship, what we found is, and if you heard some persons speak today, there were new event planners, there were new festivals, and there really was not anybody to help them. Nobody is guiding these persons. So mentorship is very important. Somewhere that you can go and get some ideas, etc. I think today was a great start. Yes. I couldn't figure out how I got the invitation, but I'm happy that I did because it was a great start. You met a lot of people. You can ask some person some questions and say, how you do this? How I did this? Professionalism was something that we had to look at because a lot of times I have that experience that every year we change an event planner for the Taste of Jamaica because every year we have a problem. And sometimes the problem ranges from the person who presented their proposal and their portfolio. What we have to do is we are funded somewhat by TEF. So now we have to send that document to TEF to say this person is representing the federation. When this person does not deliver, the TF don't remember that this person was a hired person. This person is now the federation. So professionalism is very important. All right, policies and programs. Again, we went back to networking, mentorship. I think this table spoke about it, training, coaching, some internship, because together we can do so much more. If we help each other. Today we have a network of persons, and I would love if you send out the network, who is here? Who are these people? How can they assist me? Nobody's asking for trade secrets, but I may be an expert on dance, or I may be an expert on getting sponsorship. Send out something, mentor somebody, one young person. Because again, I don't remember the young lady, she kept talking about the Edna Manley. You have persons coming out of Edna Manley, they're coming out of Michael, they're coming out of different places with event planning, degrees and certificates and everything, but they have never worked. Who takes in these persons to say what you learned in school for your little, you did your little practical, is not necessarily what is going to happen when you go in the industry. So that is something that I think as an industry we need to push some way that persons can get this information. What can you do as a group to enhance the sector? Today, I think every presenter said it, do the research. Every single presenter said it, the data, do the research, collect the information, document. The group before we said, do your postmortem, do your best practices, document, do your research. Form support groups. If it's events, there are persons, I heard Portland, I heard St. Thomas, these are smaller parishes in terms of not necessarily geography, but in terms of smaller festivals. Why they can't group together and come up with something to say, this is how these smaller events work. Smaller parishes, if it's food festivals, group together. What your food festival do, why yours successful and why mine not working? Again, we're going back to mentoring and sharing of information. Whether it be by an email blast to say, guys, I learned this today, that the new marketing manager at Red Stripe is John Brown. So now everybody is aware, because these people do change, and nobody has these names anymore. You don't have anybody named sponsorship manager. So sometimes we're sending out mails to people who don't exist. So you hear about it, and you hear this person over there struggling to get through to Red Stripe. Say to them, but she's not there anymore. Call Mary. Mary is now the new person in charge of that. So that was our group's input. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Team Middle Table. We're having, so team top side table.
Team to the left. Team to the left.
Team to top,
or
team
team
top
to the
side
right.
table.
There it is. Hi, everyone. My name is Ingrid Riley, founder of Silicon Carib. We are the largest producer of Caribbean technology events and have been in the game for around 11 years thereabout. So I'm at the table. I'm at the Calabash Tomorrow Today table, right? That's pretty much what it is over there. We got straight to the point to answer the first question. It's really about the money. Right, Andrea? Funding. And we're not talking about handouts. We're talking about sustainability and our ability to actually attract and generate money that allows us to actually be consistently in the industry and in the game. That's what we're talking about. In terms of answering the second question, we believe that this Festival X Forum is actually a pretty good start in terms of creating an umbrella, maybe association, because there's always strength in numbers, and of course the networking and the knowledge exchange here is actually invaluable. Thirdly, what we believe that could actually continue, more information sharing events just like this. We have, I didn't know you added more. What's up with that? I didn't say that part. I was busy chatting. Yeah. More information events, or what we will call capacity building events, that brings together both international experts, regional experts, and local experts to share best practices and information and that kind of a thing. So yeah, I did that. And of course, an event permit tutorial session. I didn't know about that. Okay, Philippa added that part. Right. And so I just want to thank too, the only reason why I actually knew about this event was through a Facebook ad. So I encourage y'all to get involved in digital marketing. I'm happy to help you. I'm a digital strategist for the past 12 years. So yeah.
Okay. Is there no plugs here? Okay, all right.
That was the only plug.
When is the next event in the Ingrid? Like, when is it? No?
No,
we don't get to talk about the next event?
No, I'm good.
Okay, all right. Thank you, the Calabash Tomorrow Today table. Yes. Silicon Carib table. Thank you so much. All right, so we have this middle table here. I need a name for the tables. Run Things Festival Group. Woo! This needs to be registered with JIPO. And then you guys need to actually do something. So who's going to be you guys didn't work this out? So you didn't work it out at all? Yes, please, come to the microphone.
I'm handing it to the next person, supporting other persons.
Okay, so nobody, come and run things. You guys need to come run things now.
I wasn't in the room.
Run Things Festival, the things are already written on the board, guys. You all contributed to it, so I'm sure anybody is able to present.
Good afternoon, everyone. As a disclaimer, I wasn't in the room when my team came up with these beautiful ideas. But as an event promoter, you should always be ready, right?
That's right.
Okay, so Run Things Festival Group, we decided that funding from private and public sectors, very important. Because without money, we can't go anywhere, right? So we needed support, and we're not beggars. We are providing value for your brand. Second thing is cooperation and promotions between sponsors and event promoters. There needs to be better synergy as it pertains to the collaboration. So I think it was Rishima from Red Stripe who spoke about it, that Red Stripe are not event planners, but they also want to be a part of the stake. So remember, don't send them your tickets the night before, because come the following year, they won't sponsor. Final, forge leverage with the, okay, with the who you know mentality. Oh, people do business with people. So, if they don't know you, then they don't want to do business with you. What that mean? Network. Go to the events. If you want a particular company to sponsor your events, know where they go. So the marketing managers, the owners, know where they shop, know the events they attend to, know when they're going to the cinema. That's not stalking, it's soliciting. Because you need that. You need that what?
Research.
So, you need that funding, right? And that's how you're going to run things in your events. Thank you.
I think you're excellent. They should. Oh, there's more. Oh, that's just question one. Oh, but you're doing good so far.
There's a need for a committee to regulate and direct a calendar of events to avoid clashes. Okay. I do agree. This is in response to question 2.
Question 2, what policy or program would you want to be implemented to support the festival economy in Jamaica?
Okay, great. We do need a committee. I think it was Leslie who spoke about that the Edinburgh, they have a arts council, and I completely agree with that we need a system or a committee in Jamaica that is a body of group that represents event promoters. Somewhere you can go to click on to find out what is the event that is coming up in Jamaica. I know visitjamaica.com as an event schedule, but again, if the Ministry of Tourism is not aware of your event, then your event would not be on that list. So I think it'd be good if there is a listing. I know there are private entities too that have various listed, but it'd be good if there's a committee maybe governed by the Ministry of Culture in collaboration with tourism that does a list. Okay, great. So that means we need to.
So why are you not? Because we can't hear you. So, but you have to do it quickly though. No, you have to go up there. Professionally, right, exactly.
Just assisting. One of the things that you find with a lot of committees that are formed in Jamaica is that the persons who are actually on the board, they don't have the day-to-day truancies. So what we're saying is that once we can get a committee formed that has the stakeholders, well-being at heart, then this can be a good move for us as individual promoters to promote whatever we're doing and to get the support, and that the troubles that we have, we can carry to the persons that are relevant, rather than having a committee that the persons, they don't know what happens in Portmore. They don't know that Portmore people go into Kingston to have fun and they don't support Portmore events. But when you're pulling a Portmore crowd, you need that additional help. So all we're saying is that the committee should be steered by persons who are definitely stakeholders in what the committee is set out to do.
All right, and question 3.
And question 3 is basically to create a better network between festival organizers and their patrons. So that experience must touch the heart of the patron that comes in, that they'll want to talk about it and they'll give you added leverage for your event as well.
And that's it. Thank you. Thank you, Run Things Group. You got it together. Thank you so much. Yes, we're doing all the questions. 1, 2, 3. And this is coming from what's the name of your group? You don't have a name for your group, Rastakura? Ira Rhythm Group. Presenter Rastakura.
Yeah, good evening. I must commend the British Council and the Ministry of Culture for really organize this event first, you know. I'm Rastakura, I'm a poet, and I'm also the organizer of this poem, Words and Agro Festival, which is a 8-year-old festival that we staged in Portland, and you know, from 2011 until April 29, the other day.
Okay.
And it has been very successful, so we feel like we can take up the challenge and talk about these things, you know?
So question 1.
Yeah, question 1. First thing, most people say it, and it's the same thing, funding, right? Funding, reliable and trust and honest team members. See, because a lot of time you sit around a table with people where you think you have a goal, a similar goal, and everyone have a different goal, and when you check it out, the actions don't match up with what the people them really said them committed to do. So, you know, it takes time for you to search and find those people. License and tax, JCAP, and no, it's very difficult, you know, for people who like even keeping a dance or a party, and you have to pay JCAP and other licensing organization to just string up a sound and express a culture, you know. So that. More training program. You see this thing now, this is where I say again, more comment for this day today here. We will have training program happening for festival organizers. See? So we need to see more things like this. And a transparent organization that deal with funding. That means to say, a man no come and say, oh, Takura get sponsor for this poem and me no get no sponsor. What go on? You know? So something that is clear that you can say, okay, the reason why Takura get it because it's more festival for 8 years and it's consistent and you just come the other day and people not really trusting your thing yet, so they must really see it express. You know, pool of suppliers, expert, affordability. And what this is saying now, pool of suppliers, like people who supply, the people who was here presenting about being sponsored, the Red Stripe and the, what them name? Grace and, yeah. I wonder if I got the right way, like our planet. Yeah, steering festival committee, forming an organization, everybody said. So the best solution to this is for us to just elect a president today before we leave here and just make the organization move. That's what it is, you know. We just have to say yes, you know. And I just said there, form an organization that represents the festival in Jamaica. All over there so represent festival. There's no bigger organization or gathering in Jamaica that representing festivals apart from this one. So we just do it and make it work. Consolidate research to highlight economic, profitability, and other benefit. Example, social, environment, artistic. You know what now? The research that have been going on throughout the industry, the research that my brethren and the team from Edinburgh, you know, if we can analyze it, see it, consolidate it, see it, and then we keep it circulating among us. So we can utilize it, and Takura use it at this poem, and Stepping Razor use it at, what the place name again? Negril. Rebel Salute use it down there, so. And then we see how it work for different people, and then we say, all right, this is the best solution for it. And we just work it because it work at Edinburgh. It might not be the same way it work at Edinburgh. It will go work in Jamaica, so we have to kind of fine-tune it and push it in. All right. Advocate now. Let me say advocate on behalf of the festival coordinators. See? Because you know, advocate, agitate, talk for your rights. The same thing. See? And we always feel like, say, it's the government. Which is the government? Because the government have this system been running for years. Seeing and them have different people in different positions. That means to say them have access to resource. So we have to agitate the government, consistently agitate the government to bring these things into perspective. And then we as festival organizers just use it among ourselves. And don't forget, let us form the committee. Selassie.
Sure. Thank you so much to the presenters. Mrs. Jacobs-Bondy has a few words to say, yes?
Thank you, Debbie. Of course, this was really interesting and very timely. And I just wanted to really make a few comments on what we saw here today and your feedback. So as we see, funding is at the top of the list. But what I wanted to share with you is, how many of you know about sweat equity? Have you ever heard of it? Yeah. Okay, what is it? What is it? It's you working for free. Okay, so there was somebody who spoke about equity. If I'm new and I don't have equity, what can I do? The point is that if you have spent 12 years pulling together your different activities, designing your different programs, your equity is worth those 12 years. And if you're to put a dollar amount to every single minute that you have spent thinking, creating, all the volunteer work that you have done, when you go to funders, there's absolutely no way that your request for funding, that your equity will be less than 80%. If your equity is less than 80% when you're requesting funding, you didn't count your sweat equity. So when you have funders saying, we're not going to fund you at 50%, it makes sense. It makes sense because that means you haven't counted everything that you're doing. So when you're thinking about funding and wanting to put in proposals for funding, please remember your sweat equity, okay? Count all the hours, all the minutes, all the meetings that you've had, all the late nights that no one's paid you for. But if you had to pay somebody to do that, how much would it cost, right? So the next time you're applying for funding, remember that you own at least 80% of that festival already. You haven't been paid for it, but you own it. So put that in your budget. Again, we spoke about advocacy. I don't know how many of you know that Jamaica's very first trade union was called the Association of Artisans, and it was founded in 1919. And they had everything from journalists to dock workers, okay? That association no longer exists, clearly, but we've been there before, and we can do it again. So what you're speaking about here is already part of our cultural history. It's just a matter of reviving it and bringing it into this realm, in this time, so that it's feasible. And in terms of research, it's actually a little known fact that the big international businesses, the Googles, of this world, actually consider the cultural and creative ecosystems and settings of where they're going to locate their next headquarter. Why do they do that? Because they're going to ask their people to leave where they're living, to come and potentially work in a new country, and actually the cultural fabric of that country is extremely important. So when they're looking at, Latin America and the Caribbean, they'll go to Brazil because Brazil just has a fantastic cultural offering. It's not that we don't have it, but the way that it's packaged, the way that it's marketed, the way that it's communicated means that we know what Brazil has to offer outside of the Rio Carnival. So in terms of doing research, it's quite important to be able to identify not only your value added, but also to be able to speak to those organizations or those companies, or to speak, I mean, for the government to be able to, and the tourism organizations to be able to say, well, if you come and locate in Jamaica as a business, Jampro, for example, when they're marketing what we're doing, you come to locate in Jamaica as a business, here's what we have to offer as a cultural package. It actually matters. And it's the difference between a yes and a no. A lot of people don't know that, but it's true. And then there's also the issue of seasons. We don't hear a lot about seasons in Jamaica. As a matter of fact, I don't think we've had a season. An example of this is there are several countries around the world who will identify a particular partner, an international partner, say Japan, and they will decide that that entire year will be dedicated to cultural relations with Japan. So it doesn't mean that you don't do what is authentic to your country, it just means that you bring Japan in. So, for example, I know in countries like France, they'll choose a particular partner, and this is in collaboration with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and they say, okay, this year we're going to promote Canada because we want trade with Canada, and they use that soft power, the soft power of culture, to bring those countries in. And so every single activity that's on the cultural calendar for that year will include a Canadian element, either some form of collaboration, or Jamaican food with a Canadian twist, or a Jamaican festival with an artist from Canada. So, you know, it's about being specific, it's about being smart. So when you have your association, which I hope you will establish, that's one of the ways that you can actually work towards ensuring that the ecosystem is developed. So you can just pull from the partners that you want to have and utilize your festivals as a way to not only promote them, but to create linkages between the two countries that will in turn generate income within the creative and cultural economy. So those are just some thoughts that I wanted to share with you based on your feedback, and I hope you found those useful. Thank you.
Very useful. Thank you so much, Mrs. Jacobs-Bonnick. All right. Thank you again to all the presenters from the various tables. I do hope that we all took something there. Some of the things that we saw coming out, we saw funding, we saw networking, we saw mentorship. Yeah. So those are similar things that came out from each table. And we also had some differences and some unique points, and we note those. We also want to ask of you all permission, if you will, yes, or what your thoughts are on sharing your information with each other in this room. Yes? Yes, we are okay with that? Everybody good with that? Good, so that we can all keep connected, and who knows, really we could establish the Festival X Academy. Yeah, Art Academy. We could. Ministry, hey, think about it. You know, a lot of potential is there for collaboration and good work. All right, so at this time, we're going to be inviting Andrea Dempster-Chung. Yes? Okay. Arts Project Manager at the British Council to come forward. We have niceness for you all.
Thank you, Debbie. Hi, everyone. Hi, thank you so much for coming today. It's like everybody has been reading my mind. You all have been really just speaking about everything that we were thinking, so that's good. That means we're on the same page. The British Council, as you may know, they have 3 areas. It's arts, society, and education. And I manage the arts portfolio. And within arts, there's a section called cultural skills. And cultural skills is about learning everything that is to do with festivals, in essence. How do you showcase your art product? And so in the cultural skills department, yes. So we were thinking that what the industry really needed in the ecosystem, just as Edinburgh can be a festival city, Jamaica can be a festival island.
That's right.
There's nothing stopping us. And so we thought that we would give a grant to you guys. And so let me just explain how this works. So how it works is we want you guys to form a festival industry association of your own design. We're not telling you how it has to look, how many people have to be in it, nothing. We also want you to gather festival practitioners at a physical meeting. So that's one of the requirements. So in your proposal that you will send in to us in order to get this grant money, you will show us that you are going to gather the festival practitioners together. And then you will implement at least one recommendation from this workshop. So out of all the things that were said, we want you to show us that you will implement one thing at a minimum. And then you must have a team to apply for the grant. You must have a team that includes no less than 3 different festivals in your team. Does that make sense? So basically, we would like to help you to kickstart. And we printed this before you all said what you said. And all of you are saying the same thing. So I was just sitting there laughing. So this is a little seed grant, a little funding for you guys to start your own festival association. So clap yourselves. And I really hope that we will see some applications coming in by June 30th. You please send an email with your proposal to info@britishcouncil.org.jm. And then we'll announce which proposal has been selected by July 13th. So we wish you lots of luck, and we're very, very happy to hand over this funding. Negative. Negative. Dollars.
JMD.
But that's it. Let's keep it short and sweet. It's been a very long day, so we just like to announce that this is happening. Please take a snapshot, record the email address, and we look forward to seeing your proposal very, very soon.
By June 30, info@britishcouncil.org.jm. That's the email address. So, I mean, rush to it. This is good work by the Council. Thank you so much to them for doing this. All right, so at this time, we have come to the end of the proceedings. But before we all take up our bags and leave, we're going to be asking Ms. Carla Mullings, Business and Product Development Manager at JCDC, to give the official vote of thanks as we close out.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm sure we've had a wonderful day today. Lots of information, a lot that we can use for our festivals, our upcoming festivals that I'm looking forward to. So my very special job today is to give the vote of thanks to you, our distinguished guests, for participating in today's most intriguing sequence of events. I'd like to start by thanking you all for attending the first stage in our Festival X seminar and workshop. Today's proceedings were engaging, enlightening, and most of all, resourceful to all of us in attendance. Festival X was birthed through the united force of the British Council of Jamaica, the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment, and Sport, and the Jamaica Cultural Development Commission. The intention of the ministry and agencies involved is to cascade the knowledge and possibilities that lie within the festival economy. This will seek to ensure that festival practitioners and event planners become well-equipped to stage successful and, most importantly, sustainable festivals. I'd like you all to join me in thanking our specially invited guests, the Honorable Olivia Grange, Minister of Culture, Entertainment, and Sport, for highlighting the government's commitment to growing and facilitating the festival economy within Jamaica. Mrs. Olianka Jacobs-Bonnick, Country Director of British Council Jamaica, for sharing the British Council's commitment to the development of festival skills in Jamaica. And Mr. Orville Hill, Interim Executive Director of the Jamaica Cultural Development Commission, for his engaging and enlightening speech on JCDC's mandate to unearth and preserve Jamaica's cultural talent. A special thank you also to our presenters, Ms. Enola Williams, Leslie Ann Welsh, and Mr. Michael Holgate, for sharing your knowledge and experience gained by way of attending the International Festival Academy in Ermore. To our very special panel of industry experts, Ms. Laura Hensel, Mr. Joe Bogdanovich, Tony Rebel, and Scott Dunn. Your invaluable contribution will no doubt have a great impact on the future of the festival culture and economy within Jamaica and around the world. To our tourism linkages partners, we thank you for endorsing the efforts to build a thriving festival economy within Jamaica. There's much ground to cover, but we know that with their help, this initiative will be a sustainable nature. I'd also like to thank our sponsorship experts, Red Stripe, Grace Foods, and TEF, for coming to share with us key strategies on how to secure funding for our events, which, as we know, with the right branding and support, our festival economy will thrive. At this juncture, I would just like to thank you, everyone, for their support of this great product. We wish you all the best in your endeavors, and last but not least, a safe journey home. Thank you.